patrons, this is Megan and I am back today with a new exclusive process video for you. So for this one, I picked out some photos of my oldest son Jonas, and this was back in 2017, a few days before school started that year. He definitely needed a haircut, so I decided to do a before and after photo and then also a during the haircut photo. So what I thought I would do is I would use this ombre pink to peach paper, and I would use that as my main photo mat. My idea is going to change a little bit here, where I decide to bring in this nice navy blue paper that has a very simple pattern. And I decide I'm just going to offset the photo just a little bit, and then I'm going to bring in that pink paper as another offset layer. And I really love how this turns out. Since this is a boy layout, I didn't want the pink to be a full layer, I guess you could say. I try not to scrapbook my boys with, pinks. I will scrapbook Jonas with purples and stuff because purple is his favorite color, but pink necessarily isn't their favorite. So for this bottom photo, I decide to also mat it with the blue and then make a bigger layer of the pink behind it, just to make it stand out as a different photo, a different layer, different mat. So that one is going to get its own little cluster down here on the bottom. And I really like how this turns out. I've done this type of design, I don't know how many times, but I do like it because it is all one story, but it kind of splits it up into the before and after, and then also the extra part of the story that isn't necessarily important, I guess you could say. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, anyway. So here I decide to add in a little banner strip behind the photos up at the top. I only had this small amount of this mint paper though, and so what I decided to do was just staple the pieces that were going to be under the photo and then to cut out the excess. And that worked out so well. And it was so much easier doing it that way than it was trying to glue it and then make sure that it looked the way I had wanted it to. So I have started using my staple gun as kind of like a hold the place. And it works out really, really well. I really like it. So now here you can see I am starting to put together my clusters, and I have these two tags that I liked that went along with the color scheme, and then I pull in this sticker and this little banner, and I'm gonna glue those two tags to that right side of the photo, and that is going to be my first cluster that I do, and I really like how that turns out. So this is where I decide to change things up. I decided that I needed a little extra layer of something, and I did have some acrylic paint in this kit. I am using my For the Love of Homemade kits for May, and I haven't used it yet. So I decided to bring it in with this very nice circle stencil that I have from the In Love Arts shop. If you didn't know, I did a video that was sponsored by them, and I really love their stencil. So for some reason though, The paint, this acrylic paint that I used, I think it might have been too thin or something because it was getting underneath the stencil. So I had to go wash it off in between using it because I didn't want it to just smudge on the other side. Now here I came back quite a bit later that evening and I am just going to start gluing everything down. The acrylic paint is all dry and I really like the extra texture and layer that the mixed media or the acrylic paint adds to this layout. So I'm just going to start putting my clusters together and gluing everything down. I'm going to use one of these chipboard little green floral arrangements. I guess it's kind of like a leaf, and a button and a flare badge in each one of my clusters. In this top one, I decided to use that word that says TUE, so it's supposed to be an abbreviation for Tuesday because this, I looked it up and this was done on a Tuesday in August of 2017. So I also have the date stamped underneath the two photos up top. So I'm just adding a couple layers onto there, and then I'm going to start gluing each of these pieces down in the different clusters. So each cluster has a circular element, one of the leaves, and then a banner. And I really, really love how this turns out. It's simple, but it's also got a lot of layers going on. And so that's always fun for me because I'm not huge with the layers. So I tried to add a button here in that top cluster. In the end, I'm going to move the button to the top of this. I'm just going to add a pink like washi tape sticker, and then I'm also going to add some yellow enamel dots there. I had so much fun using my May kit. I think I made 6 layouts with it. Maybe 7, I don't quite remember, but I'm super excited. I got so much done with this kit and I totally killed it. It was a lot of fun. Now I am going to pull out a stamp from this stamp set that I had in my kit, and it just says the word today. I pulled out this, I think that is Julep is what it's called, and it's a close to my heart ink. It's kind of a darker mint color. It did not work out as well as I had hoped, so I decided to stamp over it with the Stays On black ink, which I also got from Close to My Heart. If you didn't know, Close to My Heart does sell Stays On products. Then I pull off this other stamp and it says love, and I really liked how clean that looked down there on the bottom, so I decided to stamp it on the top as well. So I am going to do my title next, and apparently I didn't record myself doing the title, so you will see in the photos after this how I actually end up doing my title, and that just turns out to say a much needed haircut. And then I do some journaling on those mint tags underneath the top 2 photos that says, I love taking the boys to get haircuts before school starts. So that is it for today's layout. Thank you so much for being a patron. I really appreciate your support. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys later this week. Bye!